Fascinating article the other day. Cleveland.com talked about it, but it's a profile on Sports Illustrated by one Ben Baskin. And this little nugget was dropped about Saquon Barkley and where it is he might want to play next year in the NFL. I quote, "His Rock Nation handlers," that's his agency, however, "don't want him to be taken number one. They don't want him in Cleveland. They want him to go second to the Giants and play in the media capital of the world. That's where you can become the face of the league." His manager even implored him to pull an Eli Manning and demand that the Browns not draft him. Now, since that time, Cleveland.com has gone on to ask his management, ask Saquon Barkley, is this really what you're going to do? Do you really want to pull an Eli Manning? Do you really not want to play in Cleveland? You really want to be in New York that bad? And here's Saquon. You can listen to him right here answering that question.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Something bigger than you. If you go to a team like that, and obviously they had some rough years, but I think they're a couple pieces away.
He's talking about the Cleveland Browns. So he certainly sounds willing to play for the Browns. He's not putting it on the record, not like Eli and his family did. If he doesn't want to play in Cleveland, he's not putting it out there in quite the same way. Max Kellerman on First Take talked about this, what the Browns, if in fact Saquon Barkley doesn't want to play there, what the Browns should do. Listen to Max.
Draft Saquon Barkley. I mean, his people don't want him to go. Of course. Who wants to go to Cleveland instead of New York at any level? Of course you want to. The Cleveland lucked out because LeBron James was born right in the area and happened to be drafted there, right? So they were so bad, they had all these draft picks, so he went back. Otherwise, in the history of sports, whoever was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign with the Cleveland team. It's just the reality. Of course, his people want him to be in New York because if Saquon Barkley is on the Giants, forget it. In that media market, next to Odell Beckham Jr., he's such a special talent. But that's the point. He is such a different kind of talent. If you have the number one pick in this draft Saquon Barkley.
So many things Max got wrong in so little time. Listen, let me tell you something. I give the Philadelphia Eagles fans a lot of trouble. I don't like the Eagles, and I shouldn't, and you shouldn't want me to. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. We need to wear this hatred on our sleeves and understand each other, and we actually need to appreciate it about each other. But I don't have any problem with the city of Philadelphia. I think the Sixers, what you guys got going on there, that's something special. Cleveland. I've given Cleveland a lot of trouble over LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers and his future there. I understand that there's some people there that probably don't like what I have to say, but you got a fine city. And I think a lot of people would want to play for you. I toted around a Bernie Kosar number 19 Browns jersey. It's the only time I ever indulged in sports bigamy. The only time I ever cheated on my Dallas Cowboys. They were super bad in the 80s, and my young self needed something to root for. I'm not proud of it. I'm ashamed of it. But it was the Cleveland Browns that I turned to in those difficult, dark hours. It was Bernie Kosar, who then gave me some more heartache in the playoffs with the drive and the fumble. I think you got a nice little village there in Cleveland. I think you got a nice town. And I think Saquon and anybody else should want to play there. Here's a question. Should you want Saquon? Like, how does he stack up? Todd McShay, like we did the other day, Todd McShay stacked up the quarterbacks, how they compare historically to other quarterbacks of the last decade. How about Saquon? How does he stack up to running backs over the past decade? Todd McShay's grades. I'll give it to you. Let's go from backwards to forwards. With a grade of 92, he had Todd Gurley and Christian McCaffrey. In the 93 range, Todd McShay gave 3 running backs a grade of 93. That's Leonard Fournette, Marshawn Lynch, and Ezekiel Elliott. With a grade of 97, he has 2 running backs. Now you're at his second highest grade ever, over the last decade at least, 97. And who would that be? That would be one Saquon Barkley and Trent Richardson of Alabama. And with a grade of 98, his highest grade ever, Adrian Peterson. So here's your question if you want Saquon Barkley. Is he Adrian Peterson or is he Trent Richardson? Trent Richardson. One of the biggest busts of all time at the running back position. He was an outlier, though. Look at this Alabama succession. Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, T.J. Yeldon, Derrick Henry. On the other hand, and I'm not drawing correlations here, I'm just laying it out for you. Here's your Penn State biggest busts in running back history. Blair Thomas, Curtis Enos, Kajana Carter. I'm just saying, they did all come from Penn State. So what is Saquon? Is he the Penn State running back tradition, or is he the great one, that everybody talks about. My money's on Great One. I'm just saying. I'm just looking here.